buries his head quite a bit on his recovery, so he breathes off to the right-hand side. White cap we're looking at. Here's the underwater. So nice elbow. Look at the pitch on the elbow. Not a long enough camera shot, unfortunately, but he does bury the head when he's on his recovery stroke, so when he's not breathing to the side. Ah, there you go. Breaks out of just that right-hand side breath and takes a bilateral breath. Goes to the left-hand side to sum up the opposition to see where Ryan Cochrane is. So he's covering his territory. I don't know whether or not that means there's a slight amount of fatigue there. Not looking by how efficient he is and how easy he seems to be doing it.
Well, it just seems like Cochrane has to work so hard going back up the pool to try and stay on pace with the 19-year-old from China. Sun Yung leading by half a body length, not a huge margin, but he seems to have Cochrane in hand. It's equivalent to a second. And he's still staying in that between 2 and 3 second mark behind the world record of Grant Hackett.
Really relaxed kick as well. You see just every now and again there's a little flurry of feet movement, but otherwise the feet are just dragging along behind him with a really nice balance to help out the arms. When he wants to sprint, those feet will come up and get a lot quicker and really start to go into a 6-beat kick, but just dragging at the moment. Nice high elbow. The pitch on the elbow is just so dramatic. So the arm is extended and it's from the elbow to the hand that bends all the way down underneath him, and then the rest of the arm follows to finish the stroke. It's just phenomenal. I mean, the amount of work that he would do in the training pool with Dennis Cottrell to be able to race a fast 1500 is somewhere around the 30 hours a week in the water. There's a lot of cross-training that goes on as well these days. So he would be a very fit boy, but also very swimming fit and water fit. He'd be doing anywhere up to 100 kilometres a week in the water for just 1,500 metres.
So as they once again head down, we've got another indication of whether he's making any ground up. The 700-metre mark, it's almost out to 3 seconds. So it's starting to get into dangerous territory once it gets beyond that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, it's going to be very hard, given that at the World Championships in Fukuoka, when Grant set this world record, he also had some really good speed in the 400 freestyle, where he came second to Ian Thorpe, and the 800 freestyle, where Ian won and Grant came second. So when Hackey was swimming 14:34, he was a very fast 200 and 400 swimmer.
So back they go, and Cochrane is 1.81 seconds adrift of Sun Yung. Johnson still clamouring and clinging on to third place. Back there, the young man, the 20-year-old from the Faroe Islands. We saw him the other night, finished 5th in the 800.
There is no bubbles or whitewash underneath him at all when we get that underwater shot. I reckon that was just an increase in pace then.
Past the halfway stage,
no,
still around that 3-second mark.
Look at that. There is just hardly any wash underneath. As you see Ryan Cochrane on the other side, as he enters his hand, there's a whole heap of bubbles that follows him down. Cochrane looks like he's sprinting to try and keep some kind of contact with Sun Yung.
The other factor, I guess, Nicole, in terms of a record and how much impact this can have is the crowd.
Yes.
In those closing stages, they'll be lifting the roof off in Shanghai.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, this guy has a very high profile. As to Liu, the girl that won the 200 fly Olympic Games in 2008. So he's still just sitting on that 29-second, although he's kind of dropped now to 29.2. So there is a slight improvement. But look at the legs are just dragging. It's almost like he's doing a recovery freestyle. Breeze off to the left-hand side again, just to make sure that he's not miscounting where the other swimmers are around him. It's gone out to 3 seconds now. There's that territory that we were talking about that is dangerous. 3.06 at the 900-metre mark. Swimmers in 1500s often work in 500-metre blocks, 3 times 500, with instructions from their coaches for each of the 500s.
There's a good look at the rest of the field. Stretched right out now due to this man's sheer power and endurance. Sun Yung takes them around the 950, so shortly we'll have 500 to go, and I just wonder at what point if he is serious about breaking this world record, he needs to, what sort of range he can catch up in the last 100.
Well, he's obviously swimming fast because the other competitors can't keep up with him. I think it's a little bit misleading looking at how efficient his technique is. It makes you think like he's not swimming hard. I'm sure he is swimming hard, given that he's going 29.4, 29.3, 29.2. Now, I think Dennis Cottrell would have said to him, the last 500 metres, really start to work this, start to pick it up, start to give it something.
Okay, so they're through the 1,000, less than 500 to go, and it's still just outside a 3-second gap between Sun Yang of China and their world record. But in terms of winning this race, it seems done and dusted. He looks like he really has Ryan Cochrane at bay and comfortably at hand. He swings around one more time. Let's see what the margin is between the two of them. It's now out to 4.36 seconds. So Sun Yang well and truly in the lead from Cochrane of Canada and Johnson of the Faroe Islands.
So still no sense of urgency for him. Just breathing off to the right-hand side. You can see the extension as he enters the water with his hand, how far that hand goes forward, lunges forward under the water. Great discipline on all of his turns. They've been a beautiful streamline, the hands together, really squeezing the shoulders to the ears, and one butterfly kick, still straight down the center of the lane. He's not deviated from the center of the lane. Head buried quite prominently. When he breathes and then puts the head back down, it really gets down low. One butterfly kick and up again. A little bit more action from the feet.
Hackett's last 100 was just on 57 seconds.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see what sort of time Sun Yang, if he's still within striking range, could achieve.
Let's watch him into the turn. 1,200 metres.
It's down to 2.7 now.
Yeah, he's starting to pick it up. That was a 29.2 for the 50 metres. The information system that we have here is the Omega timing, so it comes up straight away as soon as he hits the touch pads. There's the underwater again. So the lower half of the arm bends first after the entry, and then the whole arm moves past down to the leg. Really getting some good acceleration now off the walls and moving towards the lane rope a little bit. So maybe he's starting to close his eyes a little bit more and trying to exert himself just a touch more. Maybe he heard me, he moved back into the centre.
Well, we'll get another look in a moment and see whether he's made up any ground. It was 2.7, the line's back in play. So that's the gap for you with 200 to go. It's a lot to make up. 2.65. He is gaining ground. That was a terrific turn too. So 200 to go, and the 19-year-old from China, Sun Yang, who'll have this crowd making an awful din, an awful racket very, very soon. They'll be cheering him home no matter what. The world record won't necessarily be the prime objective. It's just another gold medal here. But it must become a serious factor if he can continue to make up ground over the next 100 metres or so and just give himself a chance in that last 50.
Well, if he's going to do any kind of a world record, he needs to move soon. I mean, he's running out of race distance. That's the pure fact of it. But you're right, it is a world championship crown coming Sun Yang's way and China's way, so they are getting quite excited with this. So maybe Grant Hackett's world record will live to fight another Olympic Games. It's been there since 2001. There's the bell lap. What's he got? What's he got left? Is he tired?
He's cut it some more, so he's just 2 seconds outside
kick.
Grant Hackett's mark. He's really starting to rev it up now. Can you believe that he can do this after so much of a journey? Sun Yang of China is working hard here, Nicole. Look at the crowd. They are screaming and yelling. And we'll get an idea at this turn.
But look at the kick. I mean, he has had his legs floating for the first 1,400 metres, and it's just been the most easy of strokes. And now, look at the kick on him. The feet are right out of the water.
Well, he's going for it. He's really going to challenge here. This world record line, hopefully we'll see it very shortly. Sun Yang of China, 14.23. We're talking about a mark of 14.34.56. He's gaining on it all the time. Grant Hackett would be very nervous right now. Oh, what a performance. He's going to do it. Thorpe's records are gone. And now Grant Hackett's. The sun is well and truly set on the era of Australian distance domination.
What a time.
Sun Yang, what an amazing way to do it too, Nicole.
That is just incredible. He was nowhere near it with 100 to go. I think it was 2.6 he was away from it. And the last 100 metres, he's gone 54 flat. 54 seconds in the last 100 metres. That was incredible. Imagine how fast he could go if he tried the whole way. Whoa, wow. A new world record, our second of the post-suit era.
And what an amazing mark, 14.34.14. So Grant Hackett's record has been beaten. It was the one that survived Rome.
Yeah.
And we were hanging on to that one.
But we should say it stays at the Miami Swimming Club with Dennis Cottrell. Sun Yang's coach, well done to Dennis. A lot of hard yards standing in the outdoor pool of the Miami Swimming Club have been done between Sun Yang and Dennis Cottrell. Wow, that was phenomenal. His stroke is just so efficient. So efficient. And then when he wants to put on a turn of speed, he just brings those legs in. Look at them, they're just floating there. And in the last 100 metres, it was 54 flat. And he's just brought in this massive 6-beat kick. And it wasn't even the last 100, it was the last 50. His last 50 metres was 25.9.
Oh, that is astonishing. As you said, he had plenty in reserve, didn't he? Well, it seemed that way anyway. Look at that.
Oh, maybe the fingernails help him.
Just help with the record.
Help with the water, with feeling the water.
All right, after all that excitement, we'll take a break. Come back, hopefully there's more to come, because the women's 400 IM and Steph Rice will be in action right after this.
Have you ever wondered how the biggest, heaviest,